Okay, so when you start up FL Studio, it should look something like this. I've got FL Studio 9 up right now. It's on a blank project, apart from the limiter on the master channel. So we're going to kick off. This is something for beginners right now. So if you didn't know, this area right here is the step sequencer. You can go ahead. There we go. Drum beat. We can see here this is going into mixer channel 1, and obviously we can see here. So let's route that. There we go. Mixer channel 10 goes straight into the master. So today's topic is EQs. First off, we're going to go straight into Fruity Parametric EQ. Now, there we go. We can already tell that something's happened to the sound. And what's happening is that each of these faders here resembles something different, or a different area on the audio spectrum. And as you can see here, here's the low end, well, you could say the low, the middle, and the high. So low, middle, and high. So what does an EQ do then? Well, it obviously it removes these frequencies or boosts them. So there you go. That's extremely bassy. No bass at all. It seems kind of obvious, but a lot of people come straight into this without knowing. Now, that is just a simple EQ, but one which I would definitely recommend is using the parametric EQ too, because you actually get visual feedback on whatever signal is going in. And also one thing to note is that these work in series. So something we should do here, there you go, it resembles on this, but if I change the order of these, then look, I can put these all down, but yet somehow you've still got a signal going through this, because it's going through this EQ first and then into this one. Whereas if I swap them about again, well, there's a tiny bit of signal going through, as you can see. So what are the uses then? You know what? There we go, and you can mute these. So what could you say would be the use then? So obviously this kick is a bit weak, so you could do that, boost the bass a bit, maybe give it some high end, bring it through in the mix a bit more. Maybe you don't like that bass, maybe you just want a kick that eases that. But there's also a thing to EQs which is very relevant, and that's the filtering system. So if you want to, a good example would be to bring up, here's the channels, so this is all the sound sources, your noisemakers basically. So 3 times OSC is a good one to start on, because that is the most basic synth, yet well, it can offer a lot of potential. So let's get rid of that. Right, sorry, going a bit fast here. If I get rid of everything, right, okay, so clicking that, there's your noises. I'm going to just turn these off. So you've got one oscillator here, a sine wave, simple enough. I'll add in another sine, then I'll add in another one, and this CRS here, if you can see up top in this area, -12, so that's an octave down, and then -24, 2 octaves down. So I've got a sound. Oh no. There we go. Now, if I play this as a low sub, there you can see the visual feedback anyway. If I play this as a low note, that might counteract with the kick playing here, and probably just sounds awful. If the kick has a lot of energy. Now bear in mind, you will need good quality monitoring for this, be that headphones or monitors, which are basically speakers in audio tech land, to actually hear these low frequencies, because otherwise your mix is just going to get clogged up and it's going to sound absolutely awful. So here we go. So maybe there, if I do this, then it's just going to be a mix mash of sounds. So here, and by the way, I'm right clicking here, left click to mute the channel, right click to solo it, so that we can just hear that. So the good thing about FL Studio is, well, you could simply take away those frequencies, or there's a cool thing, if you right click on these 1, 2, 3, 4, type, so looking at these, you've got low pass, so think of it this way, you're passing low frequencies, you're getting rid of the high, you're passing the low, you're making them go through, and that's the same with high pass. So you're passing the high frequencies, you want to let them through, you don't want any bass. So you do that, move up. This is a bit like, if there's any DJs here, then it moves up. Then you've got your filter which goes whoosh, takes out all the frequencies, and then all the way down again, pretty much. But you've got the order here, so let's go to 4. There, that takes it away a little bit nicer. 6, even steeper, and then 8, which is pretty much like a brick wall. So taking away those frequencies, and around that's around 100 Hz. So might fit in a little better if move this up a little bit better. I suppose it kind of works, but well, in fact, a good way to demonstrate this would be using not sine waves but saw waves. Already we've got a total different sound, but let's take away the EQ and just have the pure sound. There we go, the whole spectrum you can see is pretty much alive with the square, I should say, not sawtooth. Now, you don't want that with the kick, because there's just going to be that muddiness, like I said. Might sound good to some people, but to professionals it doesn't. Sounds like an awful kick style, hard style track. Dude. So to get rid of these frequencies, pretty much do the filtering technique or the up and down with these what you call bell EQs or notches. Simple as that. The kick, as you can see, is in this 20 to around 100, 200 Hz region. So really I mean, this is extreme, you wouldn't do this. But a good way to show it is now those sounds both fit within the mix. It probably doesn't sound good, but that is the basics to understanding how to mix sounds in. So, let's try something different. Wasp. Same idea. Right, don't need to worry about this right now, so I'll go on this in a later episode. Now that sounds absolutely awful. So, how would you adjust this to make it sound good? Maybe. Let's try the kick again. Basically the channel is just a bit too much high. Too much high. Simple is just playing around. Nope. See how that sounds. Now both of those sounds fit naturally in the mix because they're not clashing with each other. So really, you might not actually need to EQ out those frequencies because they're not clashing with any other. The kick is on this first beat, whereas the bass is on the off beat. So the kick is boom, 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 but you're leaving a lot of space for something in the middle. So really, yeah, you don't need to EQ out that. Just leave that, just turn that off. Pretty simple stuff, but even myself, I overlooked this. You watch tutorials and people seem to understand them but not take them into practice. And this is pretty simple. Just think of the EQ to help you. You've clearly got your sub areas here, which is your low bass, your bass, in fact, bass here, mids, highs. Just don't try and fit everything in there. Try and leave space for certain instruments. Yeah. So I guess that concludes our tutorial on FL Studio, and then we'll move on to Ableton.